Welcome back to Crypto Comics, all you beautiful people in Webtown, for another awesome, fun-filled day of Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month. This is Coven by Ian Churchill and Jeph Loeb. And this was, without a doubt, one of the three most popular titles to come out of Rob Liefeld's awesome entertainment. And it's near and dear to my heart, not just because it has beautiful artwork and a tremendous story, but because, as most people know who are on Twitter, I am also a known Coven leader. So, that's a fun fact about crypto you didn't know. Let's get into this. What you are about to see has never been done before. The harvest. Yes, brother. How is it we are so fortunate that there is enough for us to share? Share? You need not worry about that any longer. Why is that? Because murder in the first. Words and Pictures by Jeph Loeb and Ian Churchill. Inks by Norm Rapmond. Colors by Awesome Color. So this is Cain and Abel. This is it. This is the first murder ever in human history. Cain, where is Abel? I do not know. Am I my brother's keeper? Wrong answer. Thus Cain was marked for all eternity, so that all who came upon him would know that it was he who brought murder into the world. Suddenly, Philadelphia State University, present day. The government denies reports that a 6,000-pound baby boy, who is over 12 feet tall and can lift an army tank over his head, even exists. Cristina Baker, girl, if you don't get your head out of these trash tabloids and back to your sociology term paper, you're going to find your sorry self in a world of trouble with a capital C. Saturday night in a big city. Bleh. And all you've got to look forward to is a lean cuisine, some Ricky Lake on the VCR, and migraines are getting worse and worse, and now it doesn't hurt. Hello? Shh. Girl, you've seen the campus security guards do some weird stuff, but you've definitely crossed over into the Twilight Zone. And you know you should be bugging out of here like a house on fire, but you're acting like the virgin in a slasher movie, sticking your nose where it ought not to be. Scratch, if you could do this more quickly, you would. N'est-ce pas? If you want me to set off the alarm, I'll set off the alarm. For a woman who's lived as long as you have, Phantom, you'd think patience would be a concept you might have grasped by now. What are they going for here? What's happening? Let's find out. And speaking of grasping that booty, Julian, keep your mind and everything else for that matter on the task before us, s'il vous plaît. For the sooner we are finished here, the sooner I can feed. Anytime you want it, I'm here for you, Colette. You do not want to go there, Father Crosswell. Don't I? Run, girl, run. Get your butt in gear and maybe I'll just get a closer look, just to make sure what it is I'm getting a closer look at. Yep, a floating woman and a flaming man who. You should not be here. The Mediterranean, off the coast of Greece, now. Here, luxury, the likes of which few have known, is there, but for the taking, if anyone dared. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. And yet, there is little in our world that this man would not dare. Progress. Good. I want Swan to handle this, personally. Soon. Southern California, now. Oh, look, she sleeps in the nude. I like that. Look at that. And the white owl flies in, knocking the candle off. That's how you start a house fire, buddy. Right next to those drapes. You better be careful. Who? Soon. Philadelphia State University, now. Who the hell are you people? Hey, I don't know how I know this, but something bad is about to go down and...
Get behind me. Well, Mark, I see your taste in women hasn't improved.
Black Mass. Pinnacle, this young lady has no part in this. Allow her to leave and...
Chivalry always suited you, Mark, but you're wasting our time. Golem, you remember Black Mass and his little coven? They took your toys, remember?
Scratch! Golem is to be stopped at all costs.
How would any of you get along without me?
Toys!
Yeah, baby. Burn, baby, burn. Next.
Toys! Crash. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Now you've done it. Gone and wrecked a perfectly good Versace suit. Haven't got a choice but to kill you now. Pentacle, you are one of us, no? Then you know what Grimoire is capable of. Says the girl who almost cut my jugular.
Oui, almost. Phantom, Scratch, I have the item.
Watch out!
Wham!
Again and again you partake in this futile game. Quit. Now.
Before you lose what little you have left. And he recites some Irish Gaelic words. Grimoire! I guess they're going to disappear.
That went well.
Shut up, Julian. Young lady, give me your name.
Cristina Baker.
Cristina Baker, you have a gift. And now that the Pentad knows about you, your life will be forever in jeopardy. Phantom will teleport you out along with us and...
Tell her what? Look, you guys don't look any safer than those other guys.
We are very different.
What about their leader, the one with the beard? He sure seemed to know you.
He does. He's my brother.
Sad face.
Join the Coven. Your power would be of great use to us.
Power? I don't have any power. I just happen in here and I'm just going to happen right back out.
Nothing just happens. Nothing. Freeze!
Saturday night in the big city. Right.
Next, Spellcaster. Here is the first drawing of the Coven done by Ian in 1988 when he first started out. The original crew are, from left to right, Black Mass, Scratch, Pentacle, who was originally conceived as a good guy, Silhouette, and her cat, right there. Neither are being used now, and Phantom. Ian inked it and colored it at the age of 17, and the world would never be the same. Oh, here we have a nice little sketchbook. His real name is Mark Saxon, age 24. Seventh son of a seventh son. Big, strong, gray skin. Natural resistance to supernatural forces. Healing powers. Can condense his mass to become stronger. Height 6'6". 6 brothers. Jacob, James, Seth, Richard, Robin, and Michael. 1 sister, Sapphire. Phantom, real name Colette. Age 300 years. A blind half-vampire, very deeply religious. Scratch, demonic name Jamalanakia. Real name, Father Julian Croswell. Age 29, red skin. Catholic priest who accidentally became possessed. That's an interesting concept. Phenomena. Real name Cristina Baker. Age 19. She's a small, overweight African American who can sense and hone in on any kind of supernatural activity. She can see ghosts, etc., and can travel astrally. She has little self-confidence and is scared of what she can do. Some of the team frighten her. She has a crush on Black Mass. Spellcaster. Real name Sasha Cullen. Age 21. Only child. Her hair is white and so are all of her clothes. Spellcaster is a white witch who at birth was magically branded with the mark of the pentacle across her chest, as was her mother and ancestors. She has mastered many spells, but still has much to learn. Her familiar is a snowy owl called Tundra. Tundra is the name of an old comic book publisher. I wonder if that's where the name came from. I would assume so. Oh, kaboom! We're going to get to it. Coming up next, Supreme. We'll talk about it. We're in it right here. Hey, by now I'm sure we've all become more than a little jaded by such bold statements as the book of 1997 or the event you've all been waiting for. Well, I'm as cynical as they come, and yet I feel moved to tell you that this book you hold in your hands is the one. This is it. This is the book. Ian Churchill's Coven is the one that they will all be talking about in the months to come. It's not the print run. It's not the hype. It's not the guaranteed ship date. It's the story, the art, and the characters that Ian Churchill and Jeph Loeb have cooked up for you that will have this book burning in your hot little hands for some time to come. I know I sound excited. I am. I'm ecstatic. Let me fill you in on some of the backstory so you can see why. You see, it all began at Taco Bell, as I was sitting across from Jeph Loeb. We had neared the end of our delicious meal when Jeph pulled out from his magic bag of tricks a small stack of character designs and a story synopsis. I knew instantly that this was the package I had been waiting for. This was the Coven I had heard so much about. I flipped frantically back and forth through the pages, asking questions like, who's she and what does he do? Jeph enthusiastically relayed the details about the characters and the story from what Ian had told him over the course of dozens of transatlantic phone calls. The more I listened, the more excited I became. The chance to publish Ian Churchill's first creator-shared title was a real privilege for me. I've been a fan of Ian's work since he first started drawing for Marvel. Ian worked on a Deadpool miniseries, and later went on to take Cable to new heights along with Jeph at the helm. I was thrilled with the energy and intricate detail Ian put into his work, and jumped at the chance to work with him on the Avengers, last year for the Heroes Reborn project. It was during that period that Ian had expressed an interest in doing his own project, an epic fantasy adventure he called The Coven. I was sold on it immediately, but as I flipped through his designs and sketches that day at Taco Bell, I couldn't contain myself. The Coven is the right book at the right time. Its gothic themes and biblical scope are sure to pull in readers of all ages. Ian's artwork continues to develop and mature at an alarming rate. Each page is more beautiful and detailed than the one before it. If he keeps this up, he's sure to give other pencilers multiple ulcers. I know mine is already developing. Jeph Loeb and Ian Churchill work wonderfully together. Their combined efforts remind me of classic works by Claremont and Byrne and Wolfman and Perez. Jeph was instrumental in shaping Ian's vision of the Coven and bringing personality and life to Ian's inspired illustrations. Go back and read the first 4 pages of this book again. Cain and Abel like I never imagined. Whew! And trust me, it gets better than this. So you can see why I'm all shook up about the Coven. I've told anyone who will listen that this is a book any publisher would kill for. And believe me, some of them have tried. But Ian is committed to the Coven, and Ian can meet a deadline. And best of all, you won't find Ian Churchill or the Coven anywhere else but at Awesome. Ian is exclusive to us, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have him. Rounding out the creative stable is Norm Rapman, who has perfected his inking while working carefully over every last line, and there's lots of them, on Ian's pages. Richard Starkings and his crew at Comic Craft should be commended as always for the beautiful craftsmanship they bring to both the design and lettering of this book. Awesome coloring and special effects were provided by Tanya, Richard Horry, and Andy Troy, along with the crew at Ground Zero, Brett Evans and Jimmy Yu. Finally, Eric Stevenson did a fine job of editing this book and coordinating everyone's efforts. My thanks go to all of you, but mostly I'd like to thank Marvel Comics, and specifically Bob Harras, for allowing us the opportunity to show guys like Ian how truly good and satisfying it can be. Carry on. Rob Liefeld. The Fighting American says it's not over until I say it's over. I believe it. But you know what? I think we got to continue on here, right, people? This is Coven, issue 2. And I just couldn't help myself but to pull this bad boy out and share it with you also. Suddenly, Malibu, California. They come here for the ocean. The quiet nights when the only sound is the ebb and flow of her waves. For the privacy. If you want this sword so badly, you can have it. Blood and sand. A little wildcat. Blood gets you going, does it? Good. There'll be plenty. Don't threaten me. This blade fears no man, alive or undead. Careful how you speak of the undead, witch. You might bite off more than you can chew. Ski, yip, ah! Oh, fat, 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 fat. Oh, that'll cost you, witch. Bring some damned bird into this. For every drop of blood I've lost, there'll be a bucket of your own. Sasha. Mother! Sasha, no.
You'd better listen to your mommy, girl. Get away from her. On second thought, why don't you stick around? Effigy!
Yeah, Swan. Trust me, the girl will never reach you. She's all mine. So he's got like this voodoo doll, and he's able to control her body. Can you feel your legs go out from under you, girl? Head up now. Pay attention. No talking. Eyes front. So you don't miss a thing.
How long have you kept this sword, witch, without realizing its true potential? A year? 100 years? Well, if it makes you feel any better, you'll have plenty of time in hell to think about it. Sasha!
Yum. Struggling won't help, girl. Nothing helps. You've become one of the lucky ones, Sasha Colon. You've crossed paths with the Pentad and lived. And tonight, you've learned a new word. Victim. 3,000 miles away, a police station in Philadelphia. 13 times in 13 days, Cristina Baker has come here to tell her story. 13 times she has achieved the same result.
Why don't you believe me? Why doesn't anyone believe me?
Why don't we believe her, Tim? She says that a floating lady and a guy on fire broke into the university archaeology building and escaped in a puff of smoke. Don't forget the big gray giant, Frank. He's my favorite. Or she's telling the truth. Either way, my clients want me to speak with Miss Baker to see if they can get their artifact back. Clients? Who would hire you? Strebeck. Can't see how I do any worse than either of you. So he's been hired by the university. Keep an eye on my wolf, fellas. And no petting. She doesn't like it. Max Strebeck. Living proof there's a sucker born every minute. Miss Baker, my name is Max. I've read your statement, and I want you to know that I believe you.
Finally. But you don't look like any kind of cop I've ever seen.
That's because I'm not a cop.
Who? What are you, FBI? CIA? One of those men in black?
No, I'm not with the federal government, Miss Baker. And Men in Black was only a movie. I think.
You're one of them, aren't you?
One of who, Miss Baker?
I told you I wouldn't go with you. I just want to be left alone.
Cristina, is it okay if I call you Cristina?
Just keep away from me.
He said he couldn't do any worse than us. Max Strebeck strikes out. What a surprise. Cristina, not too long ago I had a life. I played baseball. I had a family. That all changed because I had an encounter with something that, to this day, no one believes me. That look you have on your face, the fear, the confusion, I know that look. I believe you, Cristina. And I want to learn more about this Coven. To the east, New York City. They say that money never sleeps, and that alone would be reason enough for this office atop the Chrysler building to be buzzing in the middle of the night. For there are few places either here or anywhere on earth that trades in as much money or in as many secrets.
Go right in. He's expecting you.
Of course he is. I have had the item analyzed. It is the genuine artifact.
Excellent. Do show us all, Grimoire. Nice of you to join us, Richard. We've only been waiting for 3 days.
Yes, we are all a bit anxious.
Daddy?
Be still, Golem. Many things I might be, but none of them is your father.
Daddy?
And don't worry about my manicurist. Dear thing is both blind and deaf.
You're certain?
Quite. She had the most lovely green eyes. I still have them around here, somewhere. Now then, the item. And he speaks the magical Gaelic words,
Pretty.
Behold, what was his is now yours. Careless that he should leave such belongings on earth, like this simple crown of thorns. But then again, he never cared much for this ball of mud, allowing us to continue about our business. As to that, there is a new player in the game, one who merits recruiting.
No new business, when I have not been heard. The time has come for my reward. 2 of the 5 items have been recovered.
3, Pinnacle. Swan was successful in his mission.
Then the Coven is doomed to failure. I want Black Mass's death by my own hand. Or spiders? Grimoire!
Just covered with spiders. If you are so anxious to embrace death, it will be done. Kill the rest of the Coven as you like, but make no move against my brother, or there will be hell to pay. Don't invest yourself too heavily in family relations, Grimoire. You'll find it only leads to disappointment. I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is going to end up being Cain from that Cain and Abel story. That would make sense. Philadelphia, now. No, as in no way, no how, no thank you. Miss Baker already has a visitor, and that's enough for one night, so you can just come back in the morning. Je ne comprends pas. I will see her now. You'll see her in the... It is important that you see Miss Baker right away. It is important that you see Miss Baker right away. Merci, Sergeant. Merci. The interrogation room, now. Then, the one called Black Mass said you had some kind of power, Cristina? What do you suppose he meant by that? Cristina, what's happening to you? You do not have to answer any more questions. You! Do not look so surprised, dear. As your lawyer, I am acting in your best interest. You cannot be detained without being charged with a crime. And since that is not the case, we are leaving. Stay cool, girl. Now's not the time to go postal. I gotta go, Mr. Strebeck. See you around sometime. Lawyer? Right.
Now it's time to go postal. Look, it's like I told your Mr. Black Mass. I don't want to have anything to do with you people. I just want to go back to my so-called life.
Is that far from here? 'Cause if you need a lift, I am the man. Something I said, Phantom? Scratch. There is no going back. The pentad will not allow for you to remain undecided. Don't kill me, please. Miss Baker, Cristina, look into my eyes so that you may see the truth. You want to learn about your power, oui? What do I have to do? Malibu, California, now. To take away another's life in one single moment, it erases all that they could be, all that they would ever be. Those men didn't even bother with me, like I was nothing. They just took that sword and left me here, alone. In this world, we are all given only 10 laws to abide by, commandments. And no matter how great the effort each of us makes, there is one law which we continue to ignore, for wealth, for power, for envy. Thou shalt not kill. Next, phenomena. Wow, unbelievable. Is this story rocking or what so far? I'm having a great time. I can't wait to read the rest of this when I'm done with this video. Oh, there's that Fighting American again. Oh, here we go. This is from Ian Churchill, the creator himself and the artist. He's a good, proper English lad. Firstly, I'd like to begin with a warm-hearted thank you to everyone who spent their hard-earned cash on the first issue of my new venture. The Coven has been kicking around in my head for the last 10 years or so, and to have the opportunity to bring them to fruition, courtesy of Rob, Jeffrey, and awesome entertainment, was a dream come true. However, at the end of the day, it is you, the comic buyer, that has really made it a reality, and I appreciate it, and hope you continue to enjoy the stories to come. I have to confess, I was nervous prior to publication. I had complete faith in my creation, and having convinced Jeffrey and then Robert, they also felt the same way. Maybe this isn't the right voice for Ian Churchill.
Maybe we should do a Cockney accent. But it was you, the readers, who ultimately justified our beliefs. One of the main reasons for my nervousness was that, having penciled only the first 3 pages, I was involved in a motorcycle accident and had to pencil the remainder of the book with a broken collarbone. Now that you've completed reading issue 2, I hope it brought you more enjoyment than the debut. I realise it was made available to you slightly later than scheduled, and for that I have to apologise. It was completely my fault, and had nothing to do with the awesome team, which brings me to the reason that I'm writing this apology. In the early hours of Sunday, the 31st of August, Princess Diana of Wales tragically lost her life in an automobile accident in Paris, France. I received a phone call about 7 a.m. on Sunday morning from a good friend of mine who was on vacation in Norway to inform me of the devastating news. Ironically, my friend's name is also Diana. Like many people around the world, I never knew or had even met the princess, yet I felt as though I'd known her most of my life due to the constant media coverage of her and her work. She was, by all accounts, the most selfless, warm, compassionate woman you could hope to meet. The sudden loss of her, as I'm sure you're all aware, sent shockwaves around the globe. Her passing affecting me in a way I would never have imagined, as it did to the rest of me country, and indeed the world. To me, it felt like someone in my own family had died. I think one of the reasons it was so shocking was the royal family, being that they live a life of privilege, don't expire from anything other than old age. They represent the establishment and seem to be invulnerable until an event such as this occurs and throws everything and everyone into a state of turmoil. The whole country rode on a wave of grief, which only began to subside days after a funeral, with ripples still being felt even now. The world has lost a shining light, the likes of which it rarely sees, and the light that burns twice as bright always seems to burn half as long. She will be missed. Ian. Now, do y'all know what Princess Diana would be doing if she were alive today? Probably clawing her way out of a casket. This has been Coven, and I hope you liked it, and I want to talk about what else you can get here. This is a 6-issue miniseries, and it's worth tracking down. Guaranteed. On the flip side of issues 4 through 6 is a backup story about regex, which we have noticed advertisements for in the back of some of the Rob Liefeld comic books. There's more than just this first miniseries, though. There's also Coven Dark Origins. There's also Coven Phantom. There's also another Coven miniseries that was 3 issues that had multiple covers for issue 1. As you can see, I own the multiple covers. And also issue 2 and issue 3. So if you're looking for something truly entertaining, I would highly recommend The Coven. It is one of the most popular titles to come out of Awesome Entertainment and is still just as enjoyable today, 20 years after it debuted. And obviously it has absolutely incredible artwork. This cover obviously by Rob Liefeld, and here we have the indomitable Ian Churchill. And I could enjoy it more. There is another Ian Churchill comic book we will talk about in the near future here for Rob Liefeld Appreciation Month on Crypto Comics. Until that day comes, though, I would hope that you would be kind enough to share this video with your friends. Let them know how awesome Rob Liefeld Appreciation Season is on Crypto Comics. When you're done doing that, hit that thumbs up. Give me a like. If you're new, subscribe. Hit that ding dong for notifications. And we will be back tomorrow with even more awesome entertainment for Rob Liefeld Appreciation Season here on Crypto Comics. Thanks for watching.